All right.
Yep. All right. Hey, Practice Biopsy. Today we have a really special guest. This is Dr. David Jenkins coming here from Georgia. He's the owner of Smile Parlor LLC. He is a brand new owner of a dental practice. So I brought David on today because David is one of the first students who've gone through my practice launch CE program that's actually opened the doors to his practice. So he opened last week. I've got another one that's opening in 3 weeks, but I wanted to just sit down with David, talk about your first week in ownership. So, Dave, tell people a little bit about you and where you're coming from.
So, man, me having coming from the corporate background, as you have already known before, and wanting to go into ownership, that's when I ran into you and I became a part of the Practice Biopsy group, which is a wonderful group, one of the best groups on Facebook. And wanted to go on this journey of ownership. I started to put a plan in place because that was the initial goal out of doing school, man. And just I started planning it out on paper, and then I started getting more involved and getting advice from you and others in the group, and put the plan together and started to execute, and just to go into my first week to jump ahead to there. It's been it was the best decision of my life. It was, and I say this, and I don't put a disclaimer on it. If you don't own a practice, you're being cheated. And I didn't realize that. And a lot of the young docs who don't realize that because coming straight out of school think corporate, because of the debt, corporate is the best way, but you will, as I will get more into it, I looked at what was done versus to what I would have had to do if I was in corporate. The
You're
the
speaking
amount of
financially, right?
labor, yeah,
Financially?
yeah, yes, and just it's a learning curve to it because we're in the beginning stages, first week, and we still have to learn systems. We have to create flow. We have to create the relationships and the trust of the patients. But that's the fun part of the journey. You're starting to grow with a team. You're developing.
Okay, so we just lost connection for a quick second, but now we're back. So go ahead, Dave. Can you just recap like the last 20 seconds of what you said?
Mainly, man, just going in my first week, just having the authority to come in, welcome and greet new patients, and implement systems with the staff, and implement your own culture and my own system and my own philosophy on how I want to do things without feeling pressure. You can't buy that
Talk
feeling and
talk
that
more about the
feeling.
pressure you just mentioned feeling. I think you've talked about that before, and that pressure I think is a key difference. And just
The
speak on
thing
that a
is,
bit.
because I have a pressure to compare corporate and private. And there's big differences I realize. It's like, to me, everyone has a different personality. Some people have those, believe it or not, the personalities where they just want to stay in corporate. I have nothing against that. I knew I was wired differently because I had a different, because of my experiences. Um, and it's not a direct pressure in corporate, but you're always feeling a corporate because there's so many different hierarchy levels
Mhm.
of power that run so many different numbers that you don't know what they mean, and somehow it comes out an average that some statistic that's crazy and bizarre, such as you should cut this amount of crowns a day. Every patient should have this amount of treatment. Every patient I saw this week came in and I did what they need. And somehow D'Angelo is crazy, doing the right thing for the right reasons. It came out more than what I was doing. I'm like, wait, it's
Exactly. So
just
you came
extra.
out more than what you're doing in corporate from the first. week. Like you're not even really started yet. So, I mean, a lot of dentists worry that they're going to go in and they're not going to have any patients. Their startup, they're going to be sitting around. Have you just been sitting around or you've had patients? Like, tell me, like, has the phone been ringing? Tell me about that.
The phone has been ringing, and I'm telling Dennis this, and this is something I'm gonna debunk, D'Angelo, and a lot of people would disagree. You might even disagree, but I think you will disagree with this statement from an extent. The word saturation, I said in one of your posts, the word saturation should be done away with.
Tell me about what you mean when you say that.
What I mean is, you can put 10 dental offices next to me. You can put 10 dental offices next to you. But out of those 10 dental offices, there's going to be only one D'Angelo. There's going to be only one David. And what I say is, people can get dentistry done at all of those offices, but where can you go and get? With there being one D'Angelo and one David, you can go to any dental office and get dentistry done. But where you will only go to one of those dental offices and get D'Angelo experience. And that's how you said, that's why I realized saturation really isn't crazy. Because I'm in an area where there are a lot of dentists. I'm the only one off my exit, and I ran a demographics and everything. But people still don't realize how many people don't have a dentist because they're not out in the community. They don't like last night I went to the high school basketball game in my hometown, which is a town over. And so as I was at the basketball game in the town over, which is my hometown, you meet so many familiar faces and new faces. And like you say, they know you as the dentist guy. People that congratulate you on the dental office that you haven't seen. That because a lot of the older generation of people aren't on social media,
right?
So they just go by your face.
They know value.
You. Yeah, they know you,
and that goes into a concept that I talk about with people all the time. That I talk about in the program. It's like, people just look at demographics and they'll say, oh, the demographic is saturated. Well, maybe not. You have to look at the competition too. So I call it the competition analysis. So maybe there's 10 dentists there, but who are these 10 dentists? What are these 10 dentists doing? And how do you and your brand fit in with the other dentists that are there to stand out? So maybe, Dave, it's you and 10 other dentists, but you're out in the community, you're doing all these things, your office is beautiful, it looks great in there, it's new, you take good care of the patients. But maybe you don't do any of those things. Maybe you're just sitting back, you put your sign up, and then you hope and you wait. If you do that, then it's saturated.
No. The thing about that's pure. Now you've created saturation. And the thing about community involvement, that's a passionate inner thing that you have to want to do, because I would guarantee, if you did an analysis, I would like to say greater than 70% of dentists can do more in the community.
Yeah.
And community, that market, people will see you and just, I mean, I just passed out. I got a coffee this morning. The girl at young lady at the drive-thru didn't have a dentist. In my plaza, I gave her cards as I gave her the money. She gave me back my change. I gave her a stack of cards. She's like, thank you. And next thing you know, people come in. How'd you hear about us? Oh, my friend told us about you. How'd you hear about us? Facebook. And another thing, a good experience on one patient, did an extraction my second day on a lady. So she's back there getting post-op instructions. She sends a note up to the front to make an appointment for her daughter. So it's not you can have all the technical skills, you can know how to cut the prettiest crown, but if you're not, it's all about treating people right and caring and just being a great person, man. And me, I focused on that. I focused on relationships my first week, and man, that it poured in more than I thought. Cause I was like, this is gonna be real slow, so we can go over here and go over some
No,
systems. I'm like,
from day one, I mean, you sound like you've been busy.
I mean, it's busy, man. And then because I listen to a lot of dentists, and a lot of the things they say haven't been true. You're gonna be so slow in the beginning. I'm like, every myth
Well,
that
they
I've
scare
been
you.
taught. Yeah, I'm like every myth that I've been taught, and that's when I go on to your course. I'm like, every myth that I've been taught is being debunked. Like, oh, you don't want to open the practice, you don't want the stress. I'm like, I was dealing with the stress in corporate. This is actually like, this is less stress. And the only reason I say you owning your own can be less stress, with the exception of you have to deal with the business part and all that. That's part you take on. But there are a lot of stresses in corporate that you don't have a say-so over. This is what it is. Some of the stuff a lot of the stuff in your own practice, you know what? I don't want to deal with this. And that's what it is. You can make that decision. Mm-hmm. You don't have to call and get approval to make any decision. So that, and the real true value, I tell dentists in this, not only do you, from a financial standpoint, you have the ability to make more by doing less work and then following your instructions on the lower overhead model, which even furthermore lowers how much you have to produce. You don't have to produce a $200,000. I mean.
Yeah. So there was like a post going on, and I've talked to them too. Like Bank of America says the average cost to do a general dentist to do a startup, according to Bank of America, is right over 500,000. For a specialist, it's 550,000. Now I think you came in like just under 250, so just under half of that, roughly, yeah. Right? So tell people that 250, what does it include? It includes everything, but like
that includes full max working capital.
Yeah, how much did you take out for the working capital? What was the max?
That's 75,000.
So really, if that's the working capital, 250 minus the 75 is how much you really use to get the door.
Yeah,
and so that's what 250 minus the 75. That's not very much. 175. Yeah.
Yeah. With a few other things, I think it might have came to 188, something like that.
188, yeah.
With a few things I had to get, tenant things I had to get done.
Yeah, I mean, and you may not even, like me, I mean, I took out some for the working capital, but once all the money started coming in, I realized I didn't even need the working capital. It's just still sitting there,
Yeah, see, that's what I was doing, because I was like, man, I don't know if I'm going to need all this 75. Like, this is like I already have treatment on the book.
Yeah.
Like I already have people scheduled to come back in, because I didn't want my staff to feel overloaded, so we just did comp exams.
Yeah, and this thing that's myths. Like it's going to be slow. Like your worry was, I don't want my staff to feel too busy because we have so many patients ready.
Yeah.
And they like something else I want to bring up. So 250 minus the 75. So you actually used about 180. Let's say you used 185 to get it all open. I think a lot of people are going to hear that and say, oh, he must have like had this cheap practice. It must look real run down, and like if it's that cheap, it can't be that nice. So in the screen over here, I'm gonna just show up some images and a short video that you posted. I can walk
you around if you want.
Yep, I've got on Facebook. I've got the walk around that you've done. I'm gonna put that up so people can see. Like you spent less than 200, and it looks great. I'm showing people right now. They're gonna be able to see on the left side of the screen. But your practice looks great, and I want you to talk about that. Like it's one of those myths. Like you got to spend 500,000 to do it. Like, I want you to talk about if you want it to look nice, Dave, you got to spend at least 500,000 and give that money to the equipment company, the contractor, the supply, everybody. Talk about that.
This is what dental schools get you on.
And this is like one of the main things from Practice Launch course. I'm like telling people, you can do it for 100,
Really?
200, and it can be nice. Talk about
And
it.
that, I wish, and some things I went different. That 188 includes a brand new Henry Shine type chair.
Yeah, you have new Henry
So I
Schein
could have
chairs.
I could have, it could have been around
You could have done.
101.
You said around 101 if you wanted it to.
Yes,
Yeah.
like if I didn't get, but some stuff I'm
But
telling you,
you
main
were
thing,
saving so much money that if you wanted to like splurge on something and you can get it,
yeah,
and there's
yeah,
no pressure, like you said.
and I had a good deal on them, so I'm like, okay, cool. But the main thing about practice lunch, and I speak on courses like yours because I was like, oh man, this is what is needed. And dental schools may disagree or not, but what dental school, in a sense, financially is becoming a scam. And I don't say it in a mean way. I say it in a way that you don't get really what you need to know for the real world. And to think that $500,000 is needed to open a practice, that is wrong. Because every rep you see, I don't care which company it's from, these big distributor companies want to make money. And there you can find so many of these same supplies for just as good a quality on other websites. Net32, Staffco, I believe it is, or whatnot. I haven't looked into the other one. But so many things that go into overhead because my eyes weren't open to it until I joined your group, and I was like, this really can be done. And what it's doing is giving hope to these people. You have high student loan debt. The higher your debt is, the sooner you need to get in your own practice. So you need to start planning your own practice as your junior year.
That's what I keep telling. Like the time, if you want to, if some people, there's a lot of other options. Some people corporate. Some people want to be an associate in a private practice. Some people want to work in public health, work in an underserved clinic. That's great. But if you want to be a practice owner, the time to start implementing that and getting ready is around junior year in dental school.
Let me tell you, I've been out of dental school 2020. Well, when May comes around, it'll be 3 years. I regret it. I feel like I waited too late. Some people wait 5, 6 years. I feel like, dang, I should have done this for like first, second year out. I don't regret it because I learned some things that I didn't really want to do. So I don't regret it like that. But man, like it's so much more potential because you're in the driver's seat instead of being in the back seat in corporate and tapping on the shoulder. Hey, Dr. Webster, can we go here? Can we go there?
Can we go do a crown right here? But maybe they don't need it. Yeah, but every patient needs 3 crowns.
And another myth that I always talk to you about is just to recap on your first week. The things we do and the things these people need are simple bread and butter procedures that are every day. People don't come in every day. I don't care. I've worked in Atlanta, downtown Buckhead. Downtown Atlanta, Buckhead, high-end areas of Georgia. People don't come in every day wanting full mouth implants. People want your cleanings. They want your fillings. They want the denture, partials, the extractions, everyday dentistry. But in dental school, somehow, I don't know where it crept into the mindset that, man, I need to know how to do everything.
Well, maybe if you take out like $500,000 to open a practice, now you have these big bills you have to pay. But when you have the low overhead, you don't have to do all the big cases, And that's a point that I like to make. If there's a big loan to pay off, you have to compensate that with big dentistry.
Yeah, my Spectrum guy just walked in. We have to get this TV.
With the Wi-Fi, yeah. talk to him
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, on your point, like having to do like not every patient walks in with full mouth implants. If you're in an affluent area, like dental school puts in your head, you need to do these big cases. And something that I talk a lot about is, well, if you owe $500,000 or $750,000 on your practice, you do need to do these expensive cases. But the power of having a lean practice with the low overhead is you don't have to do anything. You can just do what you
Yeah.
want and do what your patients need, and that will cover it. And like you said when we first started talking, the basic bread and butter dentistry can end up paying you better than the corporate job.
Yeah. Yeah. Way more. Way more.
So
So
Dave, talk a little bit about like just what like low overhead means to you, like why that's something you strive for and what you think maybe people have a misconception about on that topic.
man, I equate low overhead with low stress. Because with stress, everyone knows I learned this from a rep. When stress goes up, production goes down. To know that I can just go in and do a few fillings, a few cleans, and stuff that I know is predictable makes life so much less stressful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and low overhead allows you to do that. I mean, it's like changing the gears on a bicycle. Imagine trying to ride a mile with the gear on 10 versus if you put it all the way down to 1. You know, you can do a lot more. Your legs can move a lot quicker, but you're not as tired. You're not putting in as much work.
Yeah.
But
So how do you think that gets in the head, like that we need to ride the bike with the gear on 10? Because you said, you're going to be in May, you're going to be 3 years out. You feel like you waited too long. There's people who say they want to own a practice, but they're still waiting because they have the fear. I don't know if it's from dental school. I don't know if it's from older dentists. What do you think about that?
First a lot. We have to stop this social media. A lot of the negativity on social media that's influencing younger dentists. Don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. So I feel they have a fear from dental school and the fear of what they see a lot of older dentists are going through. It's like, I went through it, so you should went through it, blah, 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 and all, that myth. Mm-hmm. But we know dentistry is stressful, but I feel it's a fear from dental school. They make you feel like you should wait. You know how to do the basic stuff.
Yep. And that's why I kind of tried to make practice launch with the program. I tried to say, look, here's everything you need to know. Here's how you set it up. Here's how you get started. Here's how you do your payroll. Here's how you do all these different types of paperwork you need to do. Here's a spreadsheet with all the supplies that you need. Here's all the equipment. This is where you find this. This is where you find that. This is how you save money here. And I really just put it all in a package and gave it to you guys so that, like you just go do it now. Now you just go do it.
You just go do it. And the thing is, you're not going to know everything when you're going to. This is just like the boards. It's just like DAT. You're never going to feel like, I know it all. I know it all. I'm going to have to wait till I'm ready. You're never going to be 100% ready. Like, I'm not now. It's still stuff I have to learn.
Yeah.
But you have to do it.
Gotta do it.
It's that simple.
Well, so I think that's a good recap of your first week, Dave. I think you gave a lot of good insight. Just before we close this brief interview, tell me what you're looking forward to, what next week is looking like. What are some of your goals for next week and the next month as you really settle into this? What are some of your goals?
Some of the main goals are get more efficient with the systems and time and get a good gauge on things that bring us in new patients. Because like you said, I like to focus on how many new patients. Because this is going to be a low month. We started towards the end. Mm-hmm. So for February, we're trying to get more new patients in, and that comes from just treating every patient the right way, and getting out in the community more, doing more legwork with marketing, getting into the school systems. A lot of things, a lot of ideas of community ideas, but more so scaling. We've been bombarded with all the stuff. Now it's time to fine tune some things and start working on repetitions of what we're going to be doing day in and day out to get the systems more down pat.
I like it, Dave. Well, I want to say that I'm really proud of you. I'm proud of you for saying that you were going to do it and then actually following through, following all the steps you had to take and actually doing it and making it happen. So, as always, if you have any questions as you're working through this process, send me a message, give me a call, and I think that you're going to be an inspiration to a lot of younger dentists who are maybe, still unsure if they want to do it. To just let them know the resources are there.
Do it.
You can make it happen if that's what you want.
Yes, it's time. Do it. The time to build your own practice is yesterday.
Yeah. All right, Dave. Yeah. Thanks for coming by to talk. Man.
Thank you for having me, buddy.